You clicked on this video because you're either deciding to move to either Benton or Bryant either later on this year or possibly sometime in the future, and you're having a hard time thinking of what the sonic difference is between Benton and Bryant. And in today's video, I'm going to be explaining what the core differences are, what will potentially be the best fit for you, and ultimately what the price ranges, what the differences are between the two. Guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Cody, one of the top producing agents here in Arkansas with eXp Realty. I help buyers find the next best deal and help sellers demand the most amount of money. Guys, if you want more valuable videos like this, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share the video. But let's jump right into it. So number one, you are either deciding if you want space or if you want to be in a high growing demanding area. And obviously both of them are high and growing demanding areas. Both of them actually have a lot of space to it. But what is the sonic differences when you do decide to pull the trigger, when you do decide to relocate to either Benton or Bryant? Which one is either better for you? So number one, let's start off with Bryant, right? I made tons of videos explaining how Bryant has a lot of new subdivision, has a lot of new construction. They have a bunch of new construction that is first time home buyer friendly, to where builders are giving out concessions to pay closing costs and everything else, especially these new subdivision bills, right? The only downside to Bryant, in my personal opinion, is because if you do decide to go to these new subdivisions, these new communities and all that stuff, a bunch of houses don't really have a lot of space to it, right? And sometimes whenever I'm working with my clients, people want space. Even first time home buyers want space. Even people who are my age, 21 years old, or actually just turned 22, or just, people around that want space, right? People don't want to be closer together, right? Another downside to Bryant is that it's really not as commute as you think, right? Bryant is really more of a back roads type city, right? Because Bryant's only stretching one street down an entire area, right? Of course, there's going to be fast food restaurants as well. You got the highway that's all next to it, but there's not really much to do in Bryant, right? Because versus Little Rock and Bryant, I just made a video about this. Go check that out. There's really not much to do in Bryant, right? Versus if we're going to look in Benton, right? Benton, you have a lot more space. The build quality is a lot better, right? The price per square foot is a lot higher because the quality is way better. You're getting acreage, half an acre. You're getting an acre, almost 3 acres out there, right? That's average, right? What do you get in Bryant? Of course, you got the city life. Of course, you got the the small town life, or dare I say city life, right? Versus when you have Benton, of course, you have Bentonville, right? Small city as well, but really it's just a bunch of like back roads, like a back road city, right? Especially if you guys pay attention to my last video, if you really want to move out to these locations, right, you have to be really into outdoors. If you're more outdoorsy type of person, like you want to go dirt bike riding, 4-wheeler ATV riding, you like going duck hunting, you like going deer hunting, right? Those are the best towns for you. But if you specifically want to stay in that area where you want to hunt or where you want to do more outdoor activities, Benton is the best city for you, right? Because you have more outside of city limits opportunities, right? Versus when you're in Bryant, of course you can be outside the city limits, but you're going way out there. You're going closer to hot springs. You're basically going towards Benton if you want more outside city limits, but you want to stay close to Bryant, probably about 1 mile, 2 miles out from downtown Bryant, right? If you're an outdoorsy type of person and you want to do more of those activities, Benton is the best city for you. Now let's talk about prices real quick, right? The average price point in Bryant specifically, around about $225,000, $250,000. The highest being up to $500,000, especially if you go to these communities like the A Street community and the Commerce Street community, where houses are selling for about $500,000, $700,000, right? But in particularly, and like I said, in my opinion, and what I see statistically, Bryant is really known for, a first-time homebuyer friendly community, right? If you go out there, you're going to see what I'm talking about. New build communities, new subdivisions. I'm always going to say the same thing because it's true when you go out there. And listen, if you're a first-time home buyer and you're looking to relocate to Bryant and you actually want an aggressive buyer agent to make sure you get those concessions, to make sure you get a place that you can afford financially, right? Click that free Zoom call link in the description, right? Let's book a free call, book a free consultation call. Let's go over what your goals are. If you have a hard time deciding if you want to go to Bryant or Ben, and I will give you the sonic differences and make you choose which one best fit for you. Now let's talk about Ben, right? Ben, like I said, price per square foot is a lot higher. You're getting a lot more land, and of course you're getting a lot more freedom, right? But that all is going to come at a price, right? average price point in Benton is roughly around about $250,000 to $300,000, even going up to, again, about $700,000, right? Again, whenever you're looking into the Benton market, you're going to see a lot of new builds. You're going to see a lot of the same builders, of course, when you go out there, because they're really known out there, right? You're going to see a lot of the same quality. You're going to see a lot of the same black and white quality, right? So if you're really into new builds, or maybe you're not into new builds, right? You just want a regular house, you want to find a good deal out there, right? You can definitely find a good deal and still have the space behind you to do whatever you want. Hunting, ATV riding, it doesn't matter, right? Overall, just to wrap this short video, if you're having a hard time choosing if you want to be in Benton or Bryant, you want to know the differences, right? If I had to sum it up in these quick words, Benton is really if you just don't want to be around the city life, right? Of course, you have Bentonville, right? You can go to the small town, you can do what you want, you get drinks, you can go to these restaurants and everything, right? But if you really want to be isolated from the city, like Little Rock, or isolated, you just want to be by yourself, you want to have your own peace, you want to do basically whatever you want, Benton is the place that you want to really invest into, right? Bryant, if you want a small community, if you want a low maintenance lifestyle where there's things to do, but obviously, you're not in the big city, and you see my dog right here, you're not in the big city whatsoever, like Little Rock, right? And dare I call Little Rock a big city? Just basically the city overall. But you want to have something affordable. You still want to have, a little bit of space. If you get lucky finding that out there in Bryant, right? What a nice community. Bryant may be the best place for you, right? So that's really the sonic differences when it comes to Benton and Bryant, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick video of hopefully answering your question and make you make a confident choice when you do decide to move here. And when you're ready to pull the trigger, you don't have a real estate agent, click that Zoom link in the description below. Aggressive buyer's agent to go out there, go find the deals, give you the concessions to make sure that you can buy down the interest rate and making this affordable move for you. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this short video. Again, like, subscribe, share the video for more valuable content just like this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get it.